I mean, first let's start off with Najee Harris. Let's start with him, man, because I know he was a lightning rod, a little bit of a topic with his participation in terms of if he should play or if he should not play. I know as it got closer to the game, we started to hear more people bringing up, oh, well, remember Le'Veon Bell when he played his rookie year in the preseason, he hurt his foot. Hurt. Yeah, we started hearing a lot more of that, and people started getting a little bit more skittish, but obviously last night, Coach Tomlin did not deter or shy away from using him. In fact, I thought it was a little bit too long.
I know, one series too long.
I swear I thought it was a little bit too long, bro.
I agree with you.
Yo, but as a whole, I did like seeing him out there because I do think you can't go out there and be scared to get hurt. Coaching wise or playing wise, I don't think you can go out there with that mentality of, I don't want he needs to get experience, but I don't want him to get that chance just yet. I think with the young guy like that, he should be able to get some of those reps. Now, like we both agreed, not that long. Could have cut it down a series, but I like that because I was able to see him running the ball inside and outside. We were able to see him having blitz pickup on multiple occasions. We were able to see him utilize his hands out the backfield. You're not going to get that if he only is out there for 1 or 2 plays or if he's not out there at all. So that was why, for me, I really wanted to see that. And I like what I saw from him, man.
Oh, I did too. The only bad plays that he had was when the offensive line was complete dog shit and he was getting wrapped up in the backfield. But even at those points, it was kind of like what you said at training camp. He made it hard on defenders. He even maybe
4 or 5 dudes, right?
He snuck an extra yard or 2 out of there that he probably shouldn't have. So that's why his yards per carry kind of looks bad. But I thought overall he looked really good. Yeah. I saw some jackass on Twitter say that Kalen Ballage was the best running back. It's clear.
I thought he was the GOAT, bro.
Bro, what? I don't know what he's talking about. Just to see Najee Harris right off the bat, he's the best running back we have. It's
Ballage can't be the GOAT, bro. Ballage looked good out there.
Ballage did look good.
Ballage looked real good out there, man.
He said some dumbass take where it was like, oh man, Kalen Ballage looks like the best running back on this team. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing for the Steelers going forward. I'm like, bro, are you serious? These jackasses, man.
Hey, why do you focus so much on these negative Nancys, man?
Dude, it's PFF. It's just a pain in the ass because they'll post some of our positive highlights, but then they're analysts behind the scenes.
Backhand comments, bro.
I can't stand it, dude.
Yeah, I could definitely understand, though.
But yeah, no, I thought he looked really good, man. And that's all we really need to see from him. A couple series. We thought it was 1 series too long, but how he ran, he definitely ran hard. How he was getting to the outside, how he was falling forward. Yeah. Kind of break. I don't know did he really break a tackle? I just know he was.
No, he broke plenty of tackles.
He was making guys. It was making it tough on guys.
Put it like this: he was breaking tackles. It just wasn't a lot of yards after contact in the traditional sense of if I break 1 tackle, you would think, oh, he's going to get 5-6 more yards. He's breaking 1 tackle, but then it's like 3-4 other guys.
You just didn't get that one truck that you're just like, oh,
the wild
man.
part.
Yeah, you drop your drink.
The thing that I'll say is, I loved how decisive he was. Sometimes you'll get guys that are decisive in practice because the contact isn't going to be the same. And then you get them in a stadium and they don't run as hard. They're not as willing to take that contact. I mean, the guy that comes to mind was Dre Archer. You remember he was the 4-2 guy, 4-3 guy. But when you would get him in stadium, he wouldn't play that fast. He wouldn't be as decisive. He would look nervous at times. With Najee, though, you can see once did he look uncomfortable. I mean, it's other people that we'll talk about that at times did look a little uncomfortable. But when we're talking about Najee, he looked like he was RB1 as soon as he stepped on that field. He looked decisive. He looked confident. Even when, like you said, the O-line wasn't giving him any type of room to operate, he still was getting the job done. And I loved...
Yeah, it wasn't like he was trying to play not to get hurt, even in those scenarios. He was trying to break these tackles and get a couple more yards.
Yeah, but the thing that I really enjoyed, man, was actually on the throw that Mason threw to Claypool on 3rd down, where I think Aikman said, oh, man, it was a little too far, but we all agreed, you got to catch that ball, bro. I don't know what Aikman was looking at. Listen, and Troy, I'm a Troy Aikman guy. I grew up as a Cowboys
so
fan.
Him saying that, people are going to take that to heart. I'm like, no, fucking catch the ball.
People are taking that as gospel, and I'm like, bro, if you think that throw right there is not a good throw, man, I don't want to hear that, bro.
That was an amazing take for Mason haters.
Oh my God. And then when they showed the replay, he doubles down. And I'm like, bro, it is hitting this man in his hands in stride, bro.
Sailed on him? What?
Stop. And he got hit anyways. Get out of here, bro. Catch the daggone ball, man. And Troy, I love Troy Aikman, bro. Love Troy Aikman.
Yeah, you can't beat that duo.
But God, dog, Troy, that one right there, yeah. I'm glad we were on the same page. But on that particular play, the thing that really impressed me with Najee on his blitz pickup, he steps up and he's right in front of Mason. If he gives any ground, Mason is either going to be hitting his hand on Najee's helmet. Think about what's going on with Matt Stafford right now with the swollen thumb because he hits his hand on one of their O-line's helmet. That could have been the case right there. But Najee being stout, Najee not giving up any type of movement on that. And it was a blitz. I won't say it was a linebacker. It wasn't Micah Parsons, but it was whoever the other linebacker was. He blitzed in there. I mean, he picks him up, stands him up right in the hole. That to me was the most impressive part because that's going to keep him on that field. Even if, say, for example, he struggles a little bit out the backfield catching it. Okay, cool. Or he's not as featured early on. As long as he can pick up blitzes like that,
sure,
he will never come off that field, man. And that to me was what I really wanted to see from him.
That's a good point. And just in general, the rush was coming down on that play. Like for Mason, honestly, dude. Mason to make that throw, stand in the pocket. I actually thought it was an impressive throw, if anything.
It definitely was. That's why I was so hot with Troy. I'm like, Mason already has enough heat. We know it's not a lot of Mason enthusiasts out there. But when you throw out that type of statement on a low, it was actually a good play. Like, that's what you can't do, baby. That's what you can't do. Come on now. Because y'all just lit few. That'd have been like if Ben would have came out here and just looked like he was bloated. And oh man, Ben looks a little heavy today.
People would have went nuts. A QB jacket,
right? Or he could have just got done hydrating, like, you know what I mean, whatever. But it's things like this, like, yo, you can't say that. Don't do that, Troy. Troy, you're not hip enough to this Pittsburgh vibe right now. They trying to kill that man Mason. All right, and you gave him ammo. You essentially gave him silver bullets. That's what you did.
I didn't know it was that bad. I didn't know it was that bad until we saw how everything played out and the reaction play out. All it took was that little fumble and then Troy Aikman to say that, and it's just over. He was apparently terrible yesterday.
Yeah, because I was like, even with the fumble, bro, even with we're gonna get to Mason because we're not even on him just yet. We're gonna get to Mason. We'll get to Mason. God, dog. But even the fumble, I'm just like you said, the perception, people were going, God dang it, that Mason, man, get him out of here. Like, Lord, we'll wrap about Mason. We're gonna wrap about Mason. Well,
anything with Harris, I don't know if I need to see him anymore. I mean, he's gonna play more.
Yeah,
I would like to see him with Ben. That's kind of the main thing.
Why wouldn't I? I want to see him every game except the fourth one. I don't think he shouldn't play in the fourth. I don't want to see him in the fourth one. I don't need to see him in the fourth one. I do want to see him in these next two games, more so because just like how we didn't have all our guys out there.
Maybe Najee with Haskins even.
But think about this, right? The same way on defense, we didn't have our guys out there, right? Dallas didn't have all their guys out there either. And we also know Dallas defense isn't the best. But I want to see, okay, in the second game, where you're going to have more starters on defense, let me see you run against that. That third game where it's the dress rehearsal, let me see that as well, where teams actually, where you have to go through a game plan, game prep in a traditional season sense. I want to see you go through that. I don't want that being week one. I don't want you figuring it out a couple of weeks in. I want you to be able to get that process done now. So now when the season gets here, smooth sailing, because there's plenty of other stuff that's going to be going on once the season officially gets here. So for me, man, I want to see him in these next two ones, man. But I don't need to see him more than a quarter, honestly. I like with certain players where they're like, oh, as the preseason progresses, they should play longer. I don't feel like that with Najee. Because of him playing running back, I want him getting his feet wet for a quarter, and that's it. After that, get him off the field because we know how heavily we're going to lean on him once the season does get here, and we don't need to, use up any of those extra reps off of his body just yet.
And I like your point you made a couple minutes ago about the pass protection. I feel like that's the main thing. Mm-hmm. That is the main thing, especially with Ben come this regular season. If he could just get the communication right, and he shows that he can do enough to stand up against some of these edge rushers, that is really the main thing, and he showed it in yesterday's game. So if he could keep doing that, now I don't really care how many yards he gets on the ground. The main thing will just be that mentality and running hard, because the offense, well, depends. If the offensive line's maybe back to what it should be or that normal strength, I feel like that's more on the offensive line, though, as opposed to Najee. That's what we really want to see. As long as he's running hard, is pass protecting. That's going to be the main thing, and just stay healthy.
Right. Yeah, because I will say, even though his numbers weren't great, and they weren't supposed to be great, he didn't play a full game. So that's why I never harp a lot on the statistical values when we're doing the preseason, just because these guys are playing a quarter here, and then in that quarter, you think about the second quarter, how the flow of the game was going. Wasn't as many reps on offense, right? Compared to, I think, the first quarter, they had a little bit more. And then especially when Dobbs came in, they had those longer drives going on and stuff like that. But I never really harp as much on the statistical as I do more so on the demeanor of these players, the confidence in these players. You think about two guys, right? And we'll dive into them a lot later as well. James Pierre and Justin Lane, regardless of the statistics, when you watch them, one player looked like they had confidence, one player like they were playing fast, like they were aggressive and decisive. The other player looked timid. The other player looked like they didn't believe in themselves, even when they made a play.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it was confident, like I meant to make that.
Yeah.
That's the difference right now, So
that's a good point.
So when I think of the preseason and I'm thinking of guys like Najee, I need to make sure it looks like, he belongs. He doesn't look like, all right, I'm thinking about this or I'm worried about that. No, he looks like he's that guy. And that's kind of how I was judging him, how I was looking at Haskins, Mason, and so forth.
Yeah.